the Mods 10 adds a substantial number of higher tiers of gear that you can use. For instance, I've got an unobtainium sword here that does base of like 51 damage per hit, which is ridiculous. But not only is the gear better, they also have better enchanting. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. I'm going to show you how to go from a base Minecraft enchanting setup to a max tier Apothic enchanting setup. There's a lot of steps along the way. Some of it can get a little confusing. I hope I make it as simple as possible for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Like we said, we're going to be going from a base normal vanilla Minecraft setup all the way to the top tier of Apothic enchanting. The goal for this is to get to 100 out of 100 Eterna, 100% Quanta, 100% Arcana, and then like 8 enchanting clues. That's really what we're going for. And the way we're going to be doing that is by using these shelves right here. Each one of these shelves for Apothic enchanting, they all have different statistics as far as what they can do. And there are also a lot of infused shelves that we actually have to enchant using the setup in order to upgrade to higher tiers. So step number 1 is going to be to make these infused hell shelves. These are going to get us up to a max of 60 Eterna. And in order to do that, we need to have at least 45 Eterna and at least 30% Quanta. So that's going to require us to get quite a few more of these hell shelves to get up to that 45 number, and then also have some left over that we can actually infuse. Hell shelves are in and of themselves pretty easy to make. You just need a normal bookshelf, some nether bricks, a blaze rod, potion of regeneration, and then some nether bricks. All of those are very easy to get. However, because I have auto crafting, we're gonna go ahead and create the automatic craft setups for that, and then I'll cut back to when we have it all set up. Now, after doing some math, I think realistically all we're really gonna need is 5 of these to replace some of the other shelves that are there. I'm probably going to make more than that just in case. So as you can see here, we have 15 of the basic bookshelves and we still have our max of 30, which means that when we add the hell shelves, 5 of them, it's going to get us to our max Eterna of 45. So we're going to go ahead and make 6 of these so that way we can have the 5 to upgrade it and the 1 to infuse. All right, so there are our 6 hell shelves that we've made. We're going to take those over here. 3, 4, 5. That is exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to make another set of regen potions real quick so we can get 3 more hell shelves. And we're going to come here and we're going to enchant or infuse all 3 of them. Now while that's going, it is worth mentioning that it's going to take a lot of XP to get to the max level setup for this. So I would highly recommend getting yourself some sort of a mob farm like the one I have going on here. It collects all the XP for me, collects all the materials, send it back to my ME system, and then also uses this pipe upgrade to trash anything I don't want. Currently, there's no way to really send a wireless signal to these, so I have all these levers in here that are set to turn on, so I can turn them all on, and it just spawns a ridiculous amount of stuff. Did all the modifications we're supposed to do to that. There's a good video I have on how to set up the mob farm, so if you want to go watch that, feel free. Point being, get yourself a whole lot of XP because you're going to need it. We got 2 hell shelves before we ran out of bookshelves. Let's come in here. Let's just go ahead and infuse those. So 1 infused hell shelf, 2, and what we'll do is we'll take down the bookshelves that are here. We're going to replace them with these bookshelves. We'll slowly swap them all out for the ones that have the higher tier. So you'll see we're at 47 Eterna now because these guys have a max of 60, whereas these have a max of 45. Put the 2 new infused there. We're looking at a max of 58 and Quanta's at 45%. So these guys have a max of 60, which means really we just need to add 1 more. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll infuse it. I'm going to break this one down here at the bottom. Probably easiest. Throw it in there. It had no effect. What if I broke it? And we put it there. There we go. Except the floor there from where we broke it. All right, so now we're at the max of 60 using we're using 8 infused hell shelves and 13 normal bookshelves. All right, so next up what we're going to need to do now that we've got all the infused hell shelves, we're going to look at making these infused and normal sea shelves. So in order to do this, we're looking at some prismarine blocks, some pufferfish, a water bottle, pretty simple stuff. So we're going to craft 5 of these sea shelves next. Once I have them, we'll come back. Just as another side note, since I've been adding a lot of those in. If you're finding it hard to get pufferfish, what I'd highly recommend doing is making these fish seeds through mystical agriculture and then accelerating the growth of them, because that makes it incredibly easy to get the pufferfish that you need for the shelves. Now, similar to the fish, you're also going to need quite a bit of prismarine for this. So make sure you have like some prismarine seeds or some automated way to get that set up, because that one can be a little time consuming to actually create. If you don't have the seeds, you can do this generalized overworld prediction with nether quartz. I don't actually have that, so I can't. You also can get the Elder Guardian and use hostile neural networks to get those as well. Also, I figured I'd let you guys know I do live stream on YouTube as well. So if you want to hit the follow notification button so that way you catch one of those, feel free to. I created this entire board here, which is a monitor from Computer Craft that cycles automatically through all of my YouTube members' names. So if you want to be on that board, feel free to hop over to a live stream, become a member. It's a fantastic way to support the channel and everything I do. All right, so here we have it. This is set up, I guess, technically set up 2 if you don't count the vanilla setup. What we have here, we have 10 basic bookshelves. We have the exact same 7 infused hell shelves. And then we've added 4 of these sea shelves, which gets us to an arcana of 12%, which means that now we can infuse the sea shelves and make them even stronger. So to do this, we're going to take the sea shelf, we're going to toss it in there, infusion, and now you'll see that it gives 5% of each instead of the 3 that these ones do. So we're going to go through and swap each one of them out until they are all infused. Break those 2 at the bottom, put 2 more down. Those are the infused sea shelves. They get us up to an arcana of 25% so far. Now, in order to do the next step, which is deep shelves, we're going to need to create dormant deep shelves, and then we're going to need to infuse those deep shelves using the exact same principle we've been doing this entire time. However, we need our Interna to be 60, which we have, Quanta at least 40, which we have, but our Arcana also has to be 40, which means we're going to need 8 of these infused sea shelves, or we could upgrade those infused sea shelves all the way up to this heart forged sea shelf, and that would allow us to only need 2 of them to get that same 40%. It's a little bit more difficult to create, but once you have it, they are well worth it. So it's the same prismarine that we were using before, the same infused sea shelf. We just have to create the heart of the sea, which is just some essences that you probably already have or could get pretty easily. And then a knotedless shell, which is just fish essence, and the prismarine essence that we already have. So let's go look at making 2 hearts of the sea real quickly, and then we will upgrade these all the way up to those heart forged sea shelves that we only going to need 2 of in order to reach our 40% arcana number. And now we have 2 of those heart forged sea shelves, means that we should have more than enough arcana. We do 55%, so now we can move on to the deep shelves. All right, I want to keep doing this so you guys know where we're at. In order to move on to the deep shelves, we have, very similar to what we had before, we have 9 of the normal bookshelves. We have our 7 infused hell shelves, and then we have 2 of these heart forged sea shelves. And that gives us 60, 55, and 40 respectively. So that means we can move on to the deep shelves, which are pretty easy to create. We should be able to infuse those now. All right, so we have 6 infused deep shelves, and you'll notice that this allows us to get up to a max of 70. So we're going to take 2 of these deep shelves. We're going to set them there. That gets us up to a max of 70. And then we're going to have to take our deep shelves that we just made, turn them into these soul touch deep shelves, which allow you to have a max of 75. Then turn those soul touch deep shelves into the soul touched skulk shelf, which allows you to have a max of 80. The reason you have to do that is because in order to make the end shelves, you have to have this infused dragon's breath, which takes an Eterna of at least 80 in order to create. So let's work on taking our deep shelves and turning them into these soul touched deep shelves next. Just going to take some skulk and a soul lantern. Both of those are very easy to get. Now I do have to fly over to the ancient city so I can grab some of that skulk. We're going to do that. We'll come back and then we'll continue on exactly where we were. I don't know what all I'm going to need, so I'm going to grab some of the shriekers and some of the sensors as well. Soul touch deep shelves. We now have 3 of those. 4 of them. So with our 4 Soul Touch Deep Shelves, I do need a Warden Tendril, which I believe I actually have to kill the Warden for. That's an interesting place for him to spawn. Whack. All right, there we go. And that is the Warden Tendril we needed. Okay, so let's grab one more. We got our 2 Warden Tendrils. We'll head home. No need to stay there any longer than we have to. Throw all of that back in here real quick. All right, our apothic stuff. We're looking for these Soul Touch Deep Shelves to be turned into Soul Touch Skulk Shelves. Go ahead and make 2 of those. We will run back over here. And I think we're going to need to replace some of these infused hell shelves with these guys. So that gives us our 80 Eterna. However, I believe in order to infuse the Dragon's Breath, we need at least 15, but not more than 30% Quanta, which means we need to get our Quanta down quite a bit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to make one of these, or a couple of these geode encased bookshelves of stability, because that will lower our Quanta pretty substantially. Throw another stack in here real quick. Budding Amethyst, we're going to create 3 of these shelves. It's just as easy to create 3, and 2 is really what we need. All right, so we got 3 of those now. So then we're going to put our Soul Touch Deep Shelves back. In order to create this, we need 15, no more than 30, 80, and 60, which means we need to remove 5%, which can be done by pulling out one of those. And there we go. So we are now ready with this setup to go ahead and infuse our Dragon's Breath. So this is the next setup. We have 3 of these geode encased bookshelves of stability. We have 9 of normal bookshelves, 2 Heartforged Sea Shelves, 2 Soul Touch Skulk Shelves, and 1 Soul Touch Deep Shelf, and then 1 infused hell shelf. And all of that gives us 80, 20, 60 respectively, which means that we should be able to take our Dragon's Breath now, toss it in here, and infuse some of it so that we can make the best shelves, which are the end shelves. So in order to create this end shelf, we needed that infused Dragon's Breath, which gets us these end shelves right here. I create 3 of them. I really just need to start with 2, but I'm creating 1 extra because I believe we have to infuse them as well. We'll add 1 there, 1 down here. That gets us up to 90 Eterna. And then in order to hit our 100, we need 1 of these Draconic end shelves, which takes a normal end shelf, some Ender Pearls, and then a Dragon Head. Dragon Head is not too hard to make. All you have to do is have the Dragon Egg Essence going, which I already do. We create one of these Blink Skulls, which is by creating Smooth Soul Stone into this Soul Dust. So with all of that created, I'm going to create us 1 Draconic end shelf, but it needs an end shelf in order to do that. Tell it to start. And there we go. We have ourselves a Draconic end shelf, which should get us all the way up. I forgot it doesn't like that one. That Draconic end shelf gets us all the way up to 100 Eterna. So next, let's work on maxing out our Quanta and our Arcana. We'll add back in our other 2 deep shelves, and we are now at 100% Eterna, 100% Quanta, and 100% Arcana with 3 enchanting clues. Now that is not the best setup. The reason for that is because there are some other extra things that you can add. You can add a deep shelf of arcane treasure, which allows treasure enchantments. Pretty cool to have, not necessarily essential, but it's pretty cool. So to craft that, we're going to be using 2 deep shelves that we just got done infusing, as well as just some other pretty basic materials that you're going to get no matter what. Some diamonds, some gold, some emeralds. And you'll get one of these deep shelves of arcane treasures. You want to add just 1 of those. You don't need more than 1 really. Next up, we're going to add one of these hell shelves of Masterful Sight. This is a great way to not let your hell shelves go to waste. You're going to need night vision potions, a spyglass in order to make the basic one, and then some more night vision potions, some netherite ingots, and some blocks of emerald in order to make the higher tier one, which allows you to have 2 enchanting clues. We're going to make 3 of these, which should give us way more enchanting clues than we're ever going to need, but it helps out a little bit. It means that there's not a guessing game anymore as far as what enchants you're actually going to get. You'll know. All right, so once you get done with all the potion making and all of that, we're going to come in here, we're going to exchange out 3 of these normal bookshelves, which doesn't decrease anything. We're going to add in these 3 hell shelves of Masterful Sight. You can see we now have 9 enchanting clues, but because we added the Arcane Treasures deep shelf, we now need to add another 15% for Quanta and Arcana. So we're going to be switching out some of these normal bookshelves to add in some, I think 2 more of these Soul Touch Skulk shelves. Again, pretty easy to make. We've already went through that. We're going to add them right back there in the back. And the cool thing about those Soul Touch Skulk shelves is they themselves also give you an enchanting clue. So you get another one from those. So we're at 11 enchanting clues right now with 100% fully maxed out everything. Now, you don't need the extra bookshelves that are here. They're just there to kind of fill everything up. This is kind of the in-game setup that I would use. There may be some small ways to improve it in some of these shelves in here, but for the most part, this is going to take care of anything that you could ever possibly need. All right, so in total, this entire setup, we are looking at 1 Draconic Inn shelf, 2 normal inn shelves, 1 deep shelf of Arcane Treasures, 2 normal deep shelves, 2 Soul Touch deep shelves, 4 Soul Touch Skulk shelves, 3 Heartforged sea shelves, 3 hell shelves of Masterful Insight, and 1 infused hell shelf. And those right there will get you the full 100% Eterna, 100% Quanta, 100% Arcana, and 11 enchanting clues, which is ridiculous. Now to go one step further, we're also going to be creating the enchantment library, which is how we're going to store these enchantments that we're going to be getting. It also allows us to pull out enchants at whatever level we want. So in order to do this, we're going to create ourselves an enchantment table. We're going to need 4 of the infused hell shelves, sea shelves, or deep shelves. And then we're also going to need 4 ender chests. So we're going to go ahead and create that first level enchantment library. And then there is another level of the enchantment library where you actually have to infuse it. Now, in order to infuse it, we need less Quanta. So we need Quanta between 45 and 50%. You can see we're already at 100%. So we're going to pull out these geode encased bookshelves of stability and we're going to add them back in. All right, so we've got it. We're going to add it back in right there. And now we're looking at 50, 100, and 100, which means we can take our enchantment library, throw it in there, infuse it, and now we got the big boy enchantment library. Now, how this library works is actually incredible. What you can do, you can take all of your enchantment books, which I have collected quite a few. I'm going to just open this up and dump them all in here, and it will combine and condense all of your enchantments based off of the enchantment they are and how many levels you had right in here. So you can see that the book we put in was a Fortune 3. If we added another Fortune 3, it would put us up to a Fortune 4, and so on and so forth. So this basically allows you to keep all of your enchants that you have in a very condensed and concise and easy to use place. And based on my experience, those 2 things right there are the best 2 tools to help you with your enchanting setup. I sincerely hope this video helped you and it was informative and you learned something, you figured out how to create this for yourself. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on the actual enchants that are in all the mods 10 and what the best ones are for a sword or for your chest plate or for anything else like that, please feel free to leave that down in the comment section below. I'm thinking about making it, but I'm not sure how much interest there actually is for that. Also, if there's something that I totally missed in this that you think would be important for other people to know, please feel free to leave that in a comment down below as well. There's a lot of people that watch these videos for how-to content on how to create an enchantment setup for their own world. So anything that's constructive that helps people figure out how to do it better is extremely valuable, and I thank you guys very much for that. Feel free to like and subscribe. Don't forget, you're special. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.